thanks for watching. Today's video is going to be regarding extra fuel capacity on our Arctic catalyst. Mine happens to be a 600 trail sled, but this should work for any catalyst model that's out there. It's going to feature the attach plate, as well as the Mountain Addiction spare fuel jugs with their fuel rail. And in the video I'll detail the process that I use to get these rigged up. So guys, this one's pretty basic, but just a quick rundown. It's going to be beneficial for tools to have around. Drill with a 1/4 inch drill bit, any hammer, Phillips screwdriver, center punches, deburring tool for holes that we're going to be drilling, tape measure, oddly enough, pledge, course instructions both for Mountain Addiction and cat, and that's about all you need for this one, so we'll dive into it next. Alright, first step, take one of your Mountain Addiction spare fuel jugs, have the bottom upwards, take your pledge, and where the dovetail rails are, or slots for the rail, take your pledge, put a little bit on one of them. It's going to act as a lubricant. They specifically say not to use silicone or anything else in their instructions per Mountain Addiction. Next step, you're going to take your dovetail rails from Mountain Addiction, and first time's going to be a little tough just because they're a snug fit. But basically, there's two ends to these. One that has a stop on the end of it, molded into the product itself, and then one that has a bull-nosed edge. So you're going to lead with the bull-nosed edge, and we're going to insert those into the fuel jug. And since this is our first time, guys, this is where I thought that it'd be beneficial to have a hammer. So I just use a hammer. I'm going to pound those fuel rails on it. Want to be pretty perpendicular to the fuel tank. We're pretty close there. Basically, we want access to a few holes on this side of the tank, a few holes on this side of the tank, which we've accomplished. And what we're going to do next is we're going to take this assembly and we're going to start speccing it out on your attach plate. Okay guys, here's a better view of the assembly we were just viewing. So we've got our dovetail rails mounted inside the tank, using the table as a square edge. Basically we want these guys squared up with the jug, with themselves. That way when we put it on the attach rack, it's going to be sitting perpendicular to the direction of travel. Just more for looks, but I'm just kind of a stinker about that. Mountain Addiction specifically says do not use the outermost holes for mounting this rack. So for this instance, what I did is I chose the next hole in on both the left and right sides. And next up, we'll show you guys how it attaches to the attach plate. Alright guys, for video purposes, I went ahead and pre-drilled my 4 holes, which you can see here in the rack. On the back side, it worked out really nice, because these 4 holes dodge all the connection assembly and also lands you into the nice meaty area of this platform. It's about a 1/4 inch thick aluminum, so they weren't joking around when they made this. So you're good to go. I have no doubt that mounting the Mountain Addiction assembly to this platform is going to be long-term durable. So next step, I'll show you guys the exact process I use to locate these 4 holes. Okay guys, so for the exact process that I used, start out with my platform. I took our assembly here and I just arranged it on the assembly to where I thought the platform best fit on top of one another. And step 1, when you find that location, and it's roughly 1 3/4 in, 1 3/4 in from each quarter, or corner rather. So rough and tough, that'll give you an idea where these are going. A little bit closer up detail, you got a kitty corner slot and a straight slot. is going to be kind of in the junction of where those two guys somewhat intersect. So what I did on mine, overall, you just put this guy on the platform, appropriately space it. Rough and tough, the Mountain Addiction rails almost fill out the whole width of the attached platform. Not quite, so I just centered it on here, the part that it didn't. And then once I was satisfied with that, I took my center punch, punched a hole in the platform, removed the Mountain Addiction assembly, took my drill, we'll pretend this is drilled, drilled my hole, came back, and then I took my reaming tool, deburred it, put the platform back on, and then with one of the bolts that Mountain Addiction supplies, it's a Phillips head, they're a pretty snug fit, so it requires a screwdriver to get this guy to seat in there. So what I did is threaded this through the Mountain Addiction rail until it was flush. And this was my first anchor point. So then what I did is I moved the entire Mountain Addiction assembly so that was parallel with the attached platform. Got that point locked, took my punch again, punched this hole, center punched it, and then I took my drill and drilled out this hole, but all of that, I left this first screw in, and that's almost like my hinge point. So every hole I would do a drill, and then I'd pivot it back, mark another one, drill it, pivot it back, mark another one, drill it, pivot it back. And that just ensures that all four of your holes are going to line up with all four of your Mountain Addiction rail holes. Just the issue of concentric holes sometimes can be an issue when there's more than two. So that's how I tackled that. Next part here, guys, we'll just thread the Phillips bolts through the holes that we just drilled and deburred. Next step, guys, we got the rails attached on all four corners. There's an underside detail. So as you can see, there's lots of room for those pieces of hardware to clear everything attached related. Real nice clean look. I've got this fuel container shoved all the way to one end, and that's the end that has built-in stops into the rails. So second step, we'll take our second fuel container, and this is the part I love. Can't say I've ever used this before in the sledge world. Pledge. Bottom of your fuel container. Line the slots with the dovetail rail. In theory, here just for the first assist. There we go. Boom. Now both those are on. And what's really nice about Mountain Addiction is they've got a keeper pin where you just put this in the end of the rail, which goes right here. And then that will keep your fuel cans from coming off. So, voila, catalyst extra fuel storage solution. Now, let's go throw this thing on the machine. Okay guys, got the spare fuel mounted. I used the rearmost of the two available options. Up front, I'm still going to do some sort of storage bag that hugs the seat a little bit better there, so the fuel will go in back. But yeah, A really good rigid fit. Happy with the fit and finish of it too. And best part is no extra holes in the tunnel, so I don't have to introduce another spot for corrosion potentially, etc. So this turned out really nice, but just want to give you guys a walk around of it. And again, kind of the beauty of that attached system. Quick on, quick off, lockable, keep the honest people honest, etc. Here's a better look at the retainer clip. So you guys can see the how easy that goes on and off. Some frozen pledge there. So all sorts of good stuff. But anyway, just wanted to let you guys see a close-up of it. Super happy, and another job to check off the list. Well guys, that concludes the vid. Thank you so much for tuning in. A couple thank yous in order. First one goes out to Mountain Addiction for supplying the spare fuel jugs as well as the rails. It's a great system. One thing that it's hard to show in a video is just how rigid and robust the system is. This thing's not going anywhere. So I'm very happy with that. They got it to my door for about $200. That included shipping. So that worked out well. Second thank you goes out to Thomas Snow Sports over in Ogilvie, Minnesota. They supplied the attach platform for me to mount the Mountain Addiction assembly to. This works out great too. Really nice aluminum stock on there. I'm really happy with the quality of product on that too. Of course, quick on, quick off, lockable too. Came with a set of keys. So yeah, overall very happy with it. Thank you to those two companies. And hey, shout out to Pledge, and shout out to Mountain Addiction for the Pledge lube detail sliding the cans on the rails. So that's definitely a first for me. I will put that in my inventory of tricks for future occurrences whenever that may come up again. So anyway, thank you guys again for tuning in. I hope you're taking advantage of the snow out there, and we'll see you guys on the next vid. See ya.